The death of Elisa Lam. The Cecil Hotel case. Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, January 31st, 2013. A young woman steps into an elevator at the infamous Cecil Hotel, and she is never seen alive again. The camera footage from that elevator would become one of the most chilling and viral videos on the internet. A girl, alone, pressing buttons in panic, peeking outside, hiding, gesturing at someone or something, and then she vanishes. 19 days later, hotel guests began to complain about low water pressure, foul-smelling black water. Maintenance workers checked the rooftop water tanks, and there, floating lifeless, was Elisa Lam. Naked, decomposed, her clothes at the bottom of the tank. The questions came fast. How did she get up there? Why was the lid closed from the outside? Why didn't the elevator doors close? And what was she running from?
This is not just a story about a death. It's about a hotel with a history soaked in darkness, a video that haunts the internet, and a case that still doesn't make sense. This is the death of Elisa Lam, and it all begins with a girl alone in the elevator.
A tourist, a diary, and a haunting destination.
Elisa Lam was 21 years old, a college student from Vancouver, Canada. Bright, curious, introspective. She struggled with mental health, bipolar disorder, depression, but kept a Tumblr blog where she shared her thoughts, her dreams, and her fears with remarkable honesty. In January 2013, Elisa set out on a solo trip along the west coast of the United States. Los Angeles was just one stop on her journey. She checked into the Cecil Hotel on January 28th. Originally booked into a shared room on the 5th floor, she was moved to a private room after her roommates complained about her odd behavior. Elisa had been writing postcards to friends, shopping for books and records, and calling her parents every day to let them know she was safe. Until January 31st. That's when the calls stopped. That's when Elisa vanished. When her family didn't hear from her, they alerted authorities. Police arrived. Posters went up. The hotel was searched, to an extent. The rooftop? Locked, they said. The water tanks? Not checked. The only real clue came from the hotel's security system, a 4-minute video. Elisa in the elevator, acting strangely, pressing all the buttons, stepping in and out, peeking into the hallway like she's being followed, hiding in the corner, gesturing to someone or no one, and finally walking away. And almost overnight, the case exploded. People across the world began dissecting the footage, frame by frame. Why didn't the doors close? Why was she moving like that? Was she hiding from someone? Was she possessed? Was someone or something waiting in the hall? And in the middle of it all was the Cecil Hotel. Not just any hotel. A building with a dark history. A place where things go wrong. The Hotel of Death. To understand the mystery surrounding Elisa Lam, you need to understand where she stayed. The Cecil Hotel isn't just any hotel in downtown Los Angeles. It's a monument of misfortune. A building with a reputation soaked in blood, death, and despair. Built in 1924 as a luxury destination for businessmen and travelers, the hotel quickly fell from grace.
By the 1930s, the Great Depression had turned it into a budget stop for drifters, addicts, and criminals. Over the next few decades, the Cecil became infamous for what happened inside its walls. In 1931, a man shot himself in his room. In 1937, a woman leapt from a window. Her body landed on a pedestrian, killing them both. In 1944, a 19-year-old mother gave birth in the bathroom and threw the baby out the window. Dozens of suicides, overdoses, and unexplained deaths were recorded there. So many that locals began to call it the Suicide Hotel. But perhaps the darkest chapter. The Cecil Hotel was once home to a man named Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, a serial killer who terrorized California in the mid-1980s. He lived on the top floor, paid cash, and returned after each murder soaked in blood. No one ever stopped him. No one questioned him. Another guest? Jack Unterweger, an Austrian journalist and serial killer who stayed at the Cecil while covering crime in LA, all while murdering 3 women during his visit. The Cecil isn't haunted just because people say so. It's haunted because it's earned it. And now, Elisa Lam was gone. Last seen in that elevator, in this cursed building. Was it coincidence? Or did something or someone drag her into the legacy of death this hotel couldn't shake? The water tank discovery. For 19 days, Elisa Lam was missing. The police searched her room. They searched hallways. They even brought in dogs to sweep the hotel. But somehow, they never searched the roof. Until hotel guests started complaining. Water pressure was low. The water coming from the tap was dark, smelled strange, tasted wrong. On February 19th, a maintenance worker climbed to the rooftop to check the water tanks. 4 massive tanks sat at the top of the Cecil Hotel, supplying water to the entire building. When he opened the hatch of one, he found her. Elisa Lam, floating face up, nude, her body already decomposing. Her clothes, the same ones from the elevator video, were found at the bottom of the tank. No signs of trauma, no drugs in her system, just drowned. The hatch was reportedly closed when they found her. The tank stood over 10 feet tall with no ladder inside. Access to the roof was locked and alarmed. So how did she get there? And more disturbingly, how did the lid get closed from the outside? The theories began immediately. Theory 1, suicide. Elisa had struggled with bipolar disorder. Some believed she had a psychotic break, climbed up and took her own life. But how did she get past the alarmed doors, the locked stairwell, and the heavy tank lid? Theory 2, accident. She was exploring the roof, maybe disoriented, and fell in. But again, how? And why no fingerprints? No DNA? Theory 3, foul play. Did someone follow her to the roof, push her in, and then cover their tracks? The LA coroner ruled it an accidental drowning, citing her bipolar disorder as a contributing factor. But almost no one believed it, because the facts didn't add up, and because of one thing that made it all feel even darker. The internet spiral and the elevator game. When the elevator footage went public, the internet erupted. True crime forums, Reddit threads, YouTube breakdowns.
People around the world couldn't stop watching, couldn't stop analyzing. Every blink, every step, every button she pressed. Some said she was on drugs, but toxicology reports showed no recreational substances. Some claimed mental illness alone explained her behavior, but others saw something else. She looks like she's hiding. She's pressing every button like she's trying to make the elevator move faster. She's gesturing to someone outside, someone invisible.
And then came the urban legend, a theory that brought the supernatural into the spotlight. The elevator game, an online ritual said to originate in Korea that supposedly allows you to travel to another dimension if done inside an elevator, following precise button sequences. The rules were eerily similar to what Elisa did. Press multiple floors in a certain order, wait in silence, and at the right time, a woman may enter the elevator, someone you must not speak to. Internet sleuths began to believe Elisa had been playing the game, maybe as a dare, maybe out of curiosity, maybe not even realizing it. And maybe she didn't return. Of course, many dismissed this as fantasy, but the footage was so strange, so surreal, that even skeptics admitted it felt like something wasn't right. And as more people dug into the hotel's dark past, they began to uncover something even more disturbing. Patterns, parallels, and the shadows of the past. As Elisa Lam's case spread online, people started connecting dots, some reasonable, some terrifying. The first eerie discovery? This wasn't the first time something had died inside the Cecil Hotel's water system. In 1947, a man named Robert Smith leapt from a 9th-floor window. His body landed on a fire escape just above the water pipes, smashing through them, contaminating the water below. The second? A 1940s case where a woman, Dorothy Jean Purcell, gave birth alone in the hotel and dropped the baby into the toilet water tank, thinking he was stillborn. And now, Elisa Lam, found in a tank of water, drinking water, showering water, toothbrushing water. The Cecil seemed cursed, not just haunted by ghosts, but by a pattern of tragedy. Then came the detail that felt almost too bizarre to be coincidence. While authorities were still looking for Elisa, they conducted a tuberculosis test on Skid Row, the area surrounding the hotel. The name of the test? Lam Elisa. Literally. Lipoarabinomannan enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay. Was it a joke? A government cover-up? Or just a truly unfortunate coincidence? Some conspiracy theorists claimed Elisa was part of a biological experiment gone wrong, hidden beneath layers of psychological misdirection. Others said she was targeted, not for who she was, but for where she was. That the Cecil Hotel wasn't just cursed, it was deliberately chosen by something dark. But beneath all the noise, all the theories, one truth remained. Elisa Lam was dead, and no one could say why. Who was Elisa Lam, and why we still don't know? Elisa Lam wasn't just a headline. She wasn't just a viral video or a conspiracy thread. She was a daughter, a student, a girl trying to find herself in the world. She dreamed of writing, of traveling, of understanding people, and herself. Her Tumblr posts were poetic,
sometimes heartbreaking, sometimes playful. She talked about loneliness, about books, about trying to exist when your mind pulls you in directions no one else can see. You're always haunted by the idea that you're wasting your life. Elisa Lam, January 2013. What happened to Elisa may never be fully explained. The official story is that her mental illness led her to the rooftop and into the tank, but many don't buy it. The doors to the roof were locked and alarmed. The lid to the tank was heavy, too heavy for her to close from the inside. The footage? Still bizarre, still unsettling. The questions? Still unanswered. And the hotel? Since her death, the Cecil Hotel has tried to rebrand, changing names, management, marketing, but its history is thick, layered, impossible to scrub clean. People still talk about Elisa Lam, still watch the footage, still wonder, what did she see in that hallway? In the end, maybe that's why this case haunts us. Not because it's unsolved, but because it feels incomplete. Elisa Lam became a symbol of fear, of mystery, of the internet's obsession with darkness. But above all else, she was human. And sometimes the scariest thing of all is not what we see in the video, but what we don't.
Subscribe for more chilling mysteries. Thanks for being here. See you in the next time.